So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another interview with the St Vincent de Paul Society, going on the Well of Hope or on YouTube. And I'm absolutely delighted again today to be joined by the wonderful Anne. And Anne is someone who has only recently, been associated with the SVP. She's going to tell us a little bit about what's happened to her, a little bit about her journey, hopefully a little bit about her family as well, if that's okay. So it's nice to have you with us, Anne.
Thank you, Alec. It's been such a wonderful experience to be connected to the SVP. And I'm currently getting 2 free bags of free delivery food from SVP every Monday from a very nice guy. What's his name? Medak.
Well, we're going to embarrass him here. That's it. It's always key to embarrass people. Well,
I'm sorry.
It's wonderful. So, Anne, if you want to tell me a little bit about yourself,
Okay.
just tell us whatever you want. Actually, just no limits
All
on
right.
it. No limits.
Okay. I'm 71 years old. 72 now, actually. 2 days ago, I was 72 on the
Happy
9th of
birthday.
May. Thank you. And well, you see, I've been hearing about the aged having to stay home and being shut out, really, shut in, really, and not allowed to go out, even for essentials, unless absolutely necessary. Then after a few weeks, I wondered, why haven't I heard from anyone giving out food since we can't go out? Well, my daughter does the shopping for me, but sometimes you need 1 or 2 other things. So I rang up the SVP. I had 2 numbers from, I think, the internet or newspaper. And I talked to a very lovely, angelic woman who immediately, who said, yeah, I'm a vulnerable, and immediately put me on the list. And lo and behold, I had a free delivery next Monday. It was also happening so quickly. I was amazed. But on the staircase, I asked Medak, is that his name? What SVP stands for? And he told me St. Vincent de Paul. And when I heard that, I thought that reminds me of La Salle, because my uncle was a La Salle brother. And when he said something about Catholics, I blurted out that I was a Catholic, because I thought, this is a kind of karma. Things that happen to me, I never take for granted, because I always see a past connection. So I blurted out all the Catholic story in my family and myself to Medak. And somehow somebody got in touch with me via email and suggested, and then I heard from you about asking if I could write a short story of what's going on or what's happening. And so I wrote that, quite a naughty piece of writing, I think. After some research into Vincent de Paul, who led such an amazing life, who went through so much hardship and did so much to help the poor, I just felt a bit embarrassed about being so naughty and questioning on the existential level, when we're here to help others as well.
Well, now you've mentioned the story. You have to tell us about it. Could you tell us about your brother and everything?
My uncle.
Your uncle, sorry,
Yes.
that was it. Your uncle, that's right.
Yes. Well, my uncle was Brother John Climacus, or Climacus, of La Salle brother in Penang. He there was a picture I sent you.
That's right.
He was such a kind and gentle soul. I remember he spoke always so gently and positively, and he dedicated his whole life to serving the La Salle Brotherhood. And I remember him telling us about how he visited hospitals and the sick and giving out food and, talking to patients. That's, and he'd always, was the kindest and gentlest person I'd ever met. So that was my uncle. He changed us from a Methodist school to a Catholic convent because he said in his words, only Catholics go to heaven. Of course, I didn't think much of that, being a critical, critical atheist. I wouldn't say I'm an atheist, but a critical agnostic, I would say. But I think it's you can't generalize on one point because we're part of everything, and we are so much more than just one perspective of things. So I never thought that he shouldn't have said only Catholics go to heaven. I think he should be free to say what he felt like. What is his true vision of things. So as I aged, I think I get less critical and more I get more into accepting things and people as they are. Yes. So on the with Murdoch on the landing and me in the front door by the front door, I blurted out this Catholic connection in myself. I said I was a Catholic first, and then I went on to talk about my uncle and my two cousins. So they are on the same side of my mother's family. There were two cousins, Teresa, the younger one, and Catherine, the older one. Catherine, they were both in a convent. Catherine was the head girl, and I think she died before my time there. But I read in our school magazine that Catherine was supposed to be beatified because, and they told her story in the magazine. She clearly was very devoted to Catholicism and prayers, and she wanted to be a nun. But it clashed with the Chinese tradition of ancestral worshipping, filial piety, and so they didn't allow her. They shut her up in a room, and they passed her food through the door. I think perhaps she fasted because she died, and it was stated that when she died there was a storm, and because of that she was to be beatified, or she was beatified and to be canonized. But as my daughter said, I'd better be careful about what I say because I need to have evidence. So I looked up the Vatican, I looked up canonization and beatifications. However, I couldn't find her name, Teresa. I can't even remember her surname. I can't find her on any of the list in Google. So I'm afraid to say that I don't understand why she was not there. And she might have been missed out of Penang or Malaysia. Penang might be too small a place for, the official version of things to get connected.
We had a look as well, didn't we? And without the surname, it's tricky. But yeah, I mean, she could well be. some of those archives and some of those old stories are difficult to piece together, especially now. But yeah. I'm sure. But it's still an absolutely lovely story.
It was a true story. So she died, and her sister Teresa was younger, whom I met, because she was staying at the convent in normal clothes. I think what I heard was that the family came to an agreement after her sister's death to allow her to stay on in the convent, but as long as she wasn't a nun. So she stays in a convent in her normal clothes, and that's the happier side of the story.
Wonderful. Yeah, no, I mean it was It just I remember when you first got in touch, and it was you started telling a story, and we were just amazed, at the connection. What a
Yes,
food parcel from what is a food parcel delivered
yes,
at a social distance, all the way to
yes,
such an incredible story. So
yes. Amazing, isn't it, when you think of
yeah,
the connection?
it is. It is.
I think you never even dreamed that there are Catholics in Penang,
But maybe now,
perhaps.
maybe now, but
But you see, when I was in the convent, the Mother Superior was perhaps a French or a European anyway,
mm,
and quite a lot of our nuns were, from Ireland or France. And I think a lot of missionaries and nuns have traveled a lot, perhaps more so before than now.
mm, yeah, yeah. Trying to
And
think.
it's
Well,
amazing.
yeah, we did find out that the convent closed, unfortunately, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, it's
And the
a
sisters
very
the
sad
sisters moved
case.
away. Yeah.
Because I went to the convent in 2004 and later, and it was run by Muslim women, which surprised me because there was a convent and it was run by Muslim women. And I looked for records of my time there and I couldn't find my name in the record somehow. So I was disappointed. But luckily, I had a picture to show of me in uniform with my class. Yes, nowadays I know things have changed and history. What is history? Because people, the victors write history, as someone said.
That's right. That's very true.
Yeah,
It's very true. It's very
and
true.
but for me to go into a convent, my convent, and to find that there are no nuns, my cousin Teresa wasn't even there anymore. It was very shocking.
Mm, yeah. Well, anyway, if I can, we'll ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah,
One wonderful story. Maybe we'll come back to it at the end, but
thank you.
yeah, was one of the things was interesting because obviously you received, I think you said it was 2 food parcels from the SVP. So I think what we're really trying to understand at the moment is what's going on out there and how we can meet that need. So is there anything else you think the SVP could do for you, or could do for
No,
others in a similar situation at the moment?
I think you've done a lot for me, but what I've been doing of late was I started to share my food with my neighbors. So last week I gave some of the food because I don't take sugar, I don't eat biscuits. So I thought their kids might like them. So I gave some of the food to my next door neighbor. She's not poor, she's a teacher, training to be a teacher. She was a classroom assistant. And her partner is also a classroom assistant. They have 2 kids, but they were so happy to share some of the food. And today we shared some of the food with my downstairs neighbor, who is a single parent with 3 kids. So
Wonderful.
what you've given me has been sort of expanded and spread out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In a way that's sort of the idea. What some of the guys do when they go and deliver food parcels, these would be in normal circumstances, is they'll take the packet of biscuits out, or they'll give them the food parcel, and then they'll say, could we stay for a cup of tea, and could we have a biscuit? And so the
Yes,
first thing the family gets to do is to offer someone else what they've just
yes,
received, so they get to offer them a biscuit, and it's all of a sudden it's become their food, and any
yes,
sort of stigma around it or anything like that is instantly gone, because they're able then to give something back straight away.
yes,
It's not just
yes.
a one-way thing, and you're in
That's
need, we're
right.
not. It's that.
Yes. Yes, like we were telling Maddock on the landing that when the shutdown is over, we would like to visit the SVP church that is nearest to us. And Maddock said it's St. John in Highbury or Islington. Well, Highbury, I think.
That's right,
And
Highbury, St Joan of Arc,
yeah,
St Joan of Arc. That's
yeah,
it. Yeah.
St. Joan of Arc. That's right. So we intend to go there and put in a small check for to express our gratitude
Wonderful. Well,
and
and
join the
actually,
service.
The food bank at St Joan of Arc's has been serving hundreds and hundreds of people, and
Mm.
it was actually the food bank closed and then reopened, and it was reopened by the SVP, and it's almost been running out of the presbytery there, so where the priest lives. From what I've
Oh,
seen photos, it's Father Gerard there. I've seen photos of his presbytery just covered in food. It's just food parcels everywhere. So they've been meeting a huge need, because obviously the
oh,
food bank had to close, but need just increased, and so they've had to meet this
right,
absolutely colossal need. But
right.
so that's, yeah, if you can, Father Gerard's lovely as well, and the conference there are great. So you should,
Yeah,
yeah, they'll
yeah,
gratefully.
perhaps I'll attend a conference as well.
Mm,
Although, mind you, I've got Parkinson's, and usually I'm quite debilitated by not having enough energy, feeling fatigue, not being able to walk properly. So that's, yeah, that is will be what's stopping me from joining your conferences.
well, well, bless
But
you
I'll
for
try
doing
to go.
this. Well, thank you for doing this at least. But anyway,
Um,
so one more question, if you'll permit me,
yes.
and then I'll let you go.
Mm.
I promise. So, do you have a message or anything you would say to people out there who are perhaps struggling at the moment and who are starting to maybe lose hope?
Yes. Never lose hope, I suppose. And I think we're very lucky to be in England where there are so many charities. For instance, I was greatly surprised that when I called the SVP number, I immediately got it's like a voice from heaven saying, "You're right, you're vulnerable, and how nice to hear you talk like this," or something. And immediately deliver the bags. Although I don't need the food desperately, but it did help to get the toilet rolls, to get the pasta. It's such a helpful and wonderful thing as well. And also, it's something I realize now that we can also share with the others.
Mm,
And I think I feel blessed to be in England. I want the country to, you know, to go to lead the world like China, to lead the world in free trade, in building good relations, trust between people, peace on earth. This is what we're promised by all the
mm,
saints and Jesus. And we can't be making war and bombs and killing people. We want peace on earth. And I think England, has a lot of good things within the country. And I feel blessed to be experiencing this. And also, the year 2020 is a very weird year. To me, it's got, all the weird stuff like the coronavirus, which I think, as a lot of scientists and doctors have been discovering more and more, so it's been going around for some time. And what is proven to us is that, nature's is so much more than what we know about it. and
mm,
and and it could be a natural virus that that's killing all of us. It's quite a frightening thought, and it's the more reason for us to be cooperative and work together as human beings, and not go into war or kill each other, because really it's a sad case. So anyway, yeah, I was my point was, in the last few days, somehow the paternal side of my family got in touch with me. My youngest brother found me through Goodreads. He came across my book, and when he noticed my name and the connection with India, he thought it must be me. So he started to put messages, which I missed somehow. But anyway, out of the blue, we installed Facebook on my phone 2 weeks ago. No, 2 days ago. And we saw his message. And lo and behold, after 47 or 50 years of no contact, I'm suddenly being reconnected to my father's side. I realized my grandmother was always there. Her land was always there. My father was buried there next to her, etc. So it was an amazing
Mm,
discovery. Life is just full of, something you don't expect.
yeah. Oh, it's wonderful. Oh, it is. I think this has been a great time for reconnecting, actually, isn't it?
Yes.
All this newfound time we have has
Yeah.
made us a bit more aware of who we are, who we know, and
Yes.
who are around us, rather than
Yes.
the things that are around us. Because obviously, the things at the moment
That's right.
sort of pointless. I mean, technology is great for now, but actually, it's just a means to connect with people, and it's the people that we're missing.
Absolutely.
So it makes us so very
Absolutely.
aware of those people that, yeah. So it's lovely, and everyone's reconnecting, and yeah, no, it is
Yeah,
really
I
nice
think
actually.
this. Yeah, I think I like your focus on people. It's people that mattered, not things. And before we've been sort of like, driving the mill really, 9 to 5. Yeah, working
Mm.
for things, working for. I remember the stress I used to feel driving to school, being stuck in the traffic, wherever it was. Always there was a traffic jam, trying to get, make sure that we get there on time. And this few months is like a holiday in heaven.
No, no, it is. It's a great opportunity, and in some ways, through renewed prayer, we can experience a bit more of paradise.
Mm.
So the chance is a way to actually, although we can't go to physical paradise, we can go to the actual paradise.
Yeah, let's hope we can create a paradise on our earth.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
wonderful,
think with
wonderful.
yeah, with good deeds. So I read a bit about Saint Vincent de Paul, and he was like such an amazing man who done so much for the poor.
No, he is inspirational, and he's well the worldwide patron of charity. So much is
Right.
done in his name and after his example now.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just one very small organisation out of a great family of the
Right.
St
Well, that's
Vincentians.
amazing to hear.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, and thank you for the story. Thank you for the wise words, and thank you for giving me some time today. It's been absolutely lovely, actually. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I think I've done my bit when I was teaching. I remember how hard I tried to get every child to raise their achievement levels, to make sure that they have a future.
Mm,
As a teacher, I was really driving myself to work in whatever I was doing.
wonderful.
So I can connect that to St. Paul, Vincent St. Paul.
So, Sims, just like Vincent, you found your vocation. You found
Yeah,
your vocation. Wonderful.
yeah.
No, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
So,
having me.
yeah, thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, whether you found this recording through YouTube or through the SVP website via the Well of Hope, please do continue to enjoy some of our other videos and some of our other resources that we've created. If you are further interested in the work of the St Vincent de Paul Society, then our website is a great place to start. If you would like any support, and you're someone out there who would need a food parcel or is after any sort of financial aid, then please do get in touch with us. The details are all on our website. Alternatively, if you would like to make a donation towards people who are in need during the coronavirus crisis, then you can also do that through our website, or you can give us a ring. But it's really worth me saying, as I do at the end of all of these, you are all in our thoughts and prayers, and we very much ask that you keep everyone else in your prayers as well. People such as Anne, all our frontline workers, and anyone in the world who might be suffering from corona at the moment. So thank you very much. We'll let you enjoy your evening, afternoon, morning, whenever you're listening to this, and we hope you have a very, very blessed day. Thank you very much. Amen.